I'm a local landscape photographer. Most of my subjects of my pictures are taken within probably about a 60 to 70 mile radius of Spencer, Iowa. I grew up on a farm between Sutherland and Peterson, and I know where a lot of the good places are to find things during the change of the seasons. I often go out sunrise and sunset times of day. And I'm hoping we get some snow this winter so I can get some winter scenes. This is one of my favorite times of year. I started taking more landscape photography pictures shortly after I got out of high school and went on a road trip with a girlfriend to Maine, and we went through New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire, and it was beautiful country, and I took a lot of photographs then, and that was just with an Instamatic camera. My photography is for sale on Arts on Grand, and I also post on Instagram under LYNNGRAE is my username on Instagram. So I usually post a picture that I take almost every single day, and that's one of the things that I enjoy doing, just to get out and get out of the house. The larger scenes I have here are both. This one was taken over by Greenville, and is on a morning scene with the halo around the sun as it was coming up in the morning. This one was down by Sioux Rapids, and that was a winter scene on just a short turn off of Highway 71. So it's kind of interesting how you can find things locally that you would not think you would find just in a rural area that's kind of flat in a lot of places. These other scenes here, this one was taken outside of Lynn Grove, that's where I live, and I call this the Trinity. It's the three trees up on the ridge. This one was taken of Thunder Bridge, right here in Spencer. This scene was taken, there's a little alleyway, it's by Medlar Coffee now. That's the building in between that goes to their back courtyard in the fall. This is a cardinal that was in my backyard. And this is a picture of the fog and mist. This is the bridge that goes across to like the Okoboji store. This is up at Lake Okoboji on between West and East Lake Okoboji. In the next couple weeks I might add a few more things too.
I do jewelry, which is the bigger pieces you see here and in the case. I started out doing that some time ago. I was trained by a silversmith out in Wyoming, and I guess I just went off on a little venture of doing silversmithing and carried it into what I was already doing with watercolor painting. And most of my little paintings here are watercolor paintings. They're all original ones that I've painted. And back here are some tree ornaments that I painted, each one individually also. And each one of these is hand painted, so they're kind of unusual for an ornament. I also do cards from my paintings. Most of the cards that are right here are from paintings that I've sold, and so I thought this was another way of sharing some of the paintings that I've done before. And I also have other paintings in this room that are in the back here, and I've painted all those also. I've taken quite a few of my the classes that I've taken, I guess I should say, are from workshops that I've gone to. Mostly I'm self-taught, but when I can fit in a workshop here and there, anything I can get from the workshop to apply to what I do is really a good thing too, that I can work into my paintings. I'm also getting started in pastel paintings also now. I'm not sure if I have any here today, but I have been taking some classes in that too. So I've kind of spread myself out a lot with a lot of different things. I like to paint small for one thing. I like little tiny paintings, and that's where I really got started, was in little tiny paintings. I took a workshop from a couple, a husband and wife, that paint really, really tiny. And mine aren't quite as tiny as theirs, but that's probably was my focus when I started doing watercolor paintings. And then it's kind of mushroomed into a lot of other things. I started doing more of the pastel work that I do is a little bit larger than this, and I'm having fun with that too now. But doing the little paintings, you can do, I can paint those quite a bit faster than I can a large painting, but yet they still take a lot of time. So I'm inspired probably most of the time by things that people generally can remember, nostalgic things or Christmas things, old toys, all kinds of things. I do a lot of birds, and I do a lot of cranes, which are more native to, they're not really native, but they fly through Nebraska, and usually I have quite a bit of work in the train trust, the crane trust in Nebraska, and sell a lot of crane paintings. So if you see some crane paintings here, that's why I'd have those, is because I've been involved with that too. They can learn more about my artwork. I have a website, which is ingridfinn.com, and I have quite a few, probably 50 or 60 paintings on there that you can get on there and see them a little bit closer up than you can just walking around a gallery. They focus on them a little bit more. That is probably the main way you can get in touch with me. You can call me on my phone and that kind of thing. I have a card, but I also have my phone number on the website.
So I'm a silversmith. I live on Ingham Lake in Emmett County, and my shop is actually in Martin County, Minnesota. So my husband and I farm in Martin County, and we live on Ingham Lake in Emmett County, Iowa. I've been a silversmith for about 15 years, and I recently took a workshop from Nicole Ringgold where I learned how to do the botanical jewelry, which is a really cool process. I really enjoyed doing it. Actually gather the leaves, use an adhesive to adhere it to the silver, and then cut out that actual leaf and do the best as I can to re-represent the veins and the shaping so that it's not just an impersonal or flat representation, but actually looks like it had some life or has some life. I was a young mom looking for something to do outside the home, and I actually took a class called Metals and More at the Pearson Lakes Art Center. At the time, I didn't have the resources to set up a full silversmithing shop, so I did more beading and those kinds of things. And then as I could, I purchased more tools along the way, learned how to use them well, and just kept growing my craft. Right now, it's nature itself. So I would say as a people, we've experienced some difficult years together, correct? Through the pandemic, and humans just have, I don't know, seem to have lost their way where kindness and maybe sensitivity is. So I have found great solace in just being outside and taking more walks in the woods, enjoying the paths that run through the DNR land around the state wildlife management area where I live. So bringing these botanical pieces to life really gives me opportunity to share that with other nature lovers. So maybe people that are stuck inside for a job all day, kind of jewelry for the heart of a woman who wants to be outside and in nature, but maybe is stuck indoors, so gets to carry that piece with her. I have an Instagram, it's _Tammy Mayo. I am working on a website. It's built and you can go there. It's tammymayo.com, but it says it's under construction. So I'm still working out those kinks. Learning the metal craft is one part, and then learning the business side and more of producing reels or taking photographs of my work. All of that stuff is a learning process. So you can find my work here at Arts on Grand. I think through Christmas, I guess. I'm not sure, but yeah, now through Christmas.